listeners. Welcome back to the Long Play Listening Party, the show where we go deep on music, recording, inspiration, gear, local culture, whatever else sounds good to us. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records. Royce the Wizard Diamond, what's going on?
How we doing? I'm doing great.
Nate Holt, Asterales Music, say what's up.
What is up, everyone?
We are back from our winter break, and we are trying for the third time's the charm, with some great new technology that's going to make the show better and easier for our guests, and easier maybe to do some different visual things. But it is a work in progress, and we are finding our way through the kinks that come with any new technology. So that's what's going on tonight. We're going to listen to some stuff. We're going to premiere some stuff we've been working on, some recent releases, some stuff from my label, and just kick it and have a good time is the plan. I'm thinking back, Nate. I think we're going to start with something that Royce and I are working on. Is that right? Is that the first track?
That is correct. It's Cone Time.
Cone Time for Miles off the upcoming album Not One Person Left Out, which is something that kind of spoke to me about a social vision for what justice and human health and well-being looks like. Not one single person left out. It's beats that I made with a drum brute back a couple years ago when I bought a drum brute, and some simple synthesizers that I would hook up to it. And it kind of sat on the shelf for several years until I got a 404 last year and kind of thought, oh man, that compressor, on the 404, that famous compressor, which has a very distinctive, punchy sound, that might be cool. Do some live effects. It doesn't quite feel complete yet. And so I kind of timidly asked Royce if he might make me some vocal samples. Royce, what do you remember from when I brought up that idea to you?
I didn't remember it like that. It didn't feel timid. It
Okay.
felt like a great idea, and I was interested to see where it was going to go. So, and is that's part of the recordings we started at your house?
Yeah. So the idea. They're not hip-hop beats by any means. You can attest to that. They're weird electro beats. Some of them are not in 4/4. And so what I had kind of in mind was sort of like house music or like Burial, the artist Burial, and kind of really distorted, reverby vocal samples. So I kind of asked you, hey, could we just... you've got stacks and stacks of notebooks of stuff you've written over the years, and hey, could we just like grab some pieces, maybe some pieces that didn't make sense in a hip hop context? Maybe this could be a home for some of that stuff. And had you over one night, and what I remember is, so we're in my laundry room studio, and you kind of said like, oh, just play me a song to give me a feel, so I kind of know. And you're like flipping through your notebooks looking for stuff. But I just picked a song from the album to play you, and you kind of got into it, and we ended up, this was not the plan, but you ended up like finding a full verse to put to this beat. So we ended up spending the whole night, instead of recording, pieces and samples, we like workshopped this song and, kind of toss ideas back and forth about how to like polish the vocal, a couple little tweaks to make the vocals fit, and ended up recording just the one song. And so that's actually going to be what ends the record as kind of this culmination of everything. But then a few weeks ago, I came up to your place in Kansas City, and we actually did more of those random samples. And what you're about to hear, Nate, why don't you get it queued up, is the opening track, which doesn't have it does have samples, but it's nothing you meant to record. It's just studio talkback that grabbed my ear. So if that final song is the most like planned out, this is the most not planned out and casual.
I like it, man. When I heard it, I was like, when did I say that? You know, like I had no idea where it came from, what context. So it was pretty cool.
Right, because you recorded all the samples to the other piece we're working on, which is still secret, I think. But that other beat that you did a verse to, we just looped that again and
did all of that.
did all this stuff to that. And actually, when the album comes out, if people listen to it really closely and loud, you might be able to pick out the headphone bleed from that secret song in this album a little bit. So there's like a cool little connection there.
There you go. That's what's up.
Nate, I am getting music. Right? Sounds awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll get it right.
This music is coming courtesy of Australis over there in the
I'll get it right.
the gray square,
Oh, sweet.
the muted gray square.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to remix this in some fashion.
Is the Me Ma track on this record? It's not, is it?
No, that's a demo for the hypothetical orbital debris volume 2 that all three of us are going to work on. Or we've already started working on it.
Yeah, that's what I love that song.
Okay.
I tell you what I really liked about it was being able to go through everything together. You know, like I could pitch you the ideas or the songs or the verses, and we could kind of like talk about them and like flush them out. When we were doing the Mima track, the one line that's always bothered me in those lyrics is the one that you were like, you need to rewrite that one. Like it's just something wrong with it. You know what I mean? So it was perfect. It was like, yes, he's right there with me. But I didn't want to hold back what I had written.
I think you're talking about the remix.
Okay.
Not the remix. You did do that in the mix. We did that one when I was at your house. We worked on it a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't know if we ever even recorded it. I think after we
I'll get it right.
finished the other stuff, I was like, hey, I want you to hear this track that I wrote to that beat. I really like it.
Okay.
That would make sense that we didn't record it because I definitely
remember
don't have
it?
any recordings of that song
I'll get it right.
with your vocals.
Right.
I like that.
I love these samples because they just make me feel like we're hanging out, like how casual they are and the laugh and everything. Like it's like if I just want a little dose of hanging out with Royce, I should just play this one.
Man, those drums. I love the way you program those drums. Like, what does that look like? You just beat them out on the pads, or?
It's a lot of with the drum brute, you can.
It's super great for live stuff.
And play the pads at the same time.
Yeah.
So like all this.
And it has a lot of kind of randomization type of just weird stuff you can do. It's fun.
Gotcha.
That was all over that first record that you and I did together.
Yeah.
So a lot of the drum program on that was Drum Brute.
And all these sounds come from the drum brute, or these synths come from something else?
It's always the drum brute and one synth.
Okay.
So the synth here, I'm pretty sure is Volca bass.
I like that.
Is that a plug-in?
No, it's
Synthesizer.
little yeah.
Okay.
That was also all over the record that you and I, that first record that you mixed for me. We mixed together, whatever.
You mixed it, I mastered it.
No, I'm talking about Outside the Box.
Outside the box.
His
Yeah.
record? Your record's Outside the Box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I didn't do anything on that.
No, it said the vocal bass. I used that.
Oh!
Yeah. I used the vocal bass and I used the drum boot all over that record.
The first record
That's
that he and I worked together on.
That's
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
I got there in the end.
I probably was not as clear as I could have been.
Yeah, what was that, 2017?
Yes,
Feels like a decade ago.
I know.
What's happened?
That was before the COVID.
It sure was. Way before.
So we've got some S'ar Lavoe now, right?
Yeah. Man, this individual control over the music that's playing is a really
You like
great.
We'll hold and control, fold from the background, exercise the soul. In the middle of the showdown, how it go down? Don't know if you got another whole round. I'm down for the pound, I take it to the town.
So this record, Approach and Smooth, had,
Y'all still mad? Talk about game.
I think they had already recorded something like that, and then they heard some music that I was working on and wanted me to record and mix this. So this is the first time I ever did, ever mixed any music with them.
We stay fly in a friendly sky. Stand still. Get live. Hold tight. Still fly. In them
And
blink of an eye. Why?
I was just back from, I guess a few years back from LA. I just gotten back.
You can't stand by.
We were talking earlier, you said, I think, 2008 or so?
So underground and flip them birds like we run the sky.
Well, 2000 and, I think we actually did this 2005, but I think it was 2008 when, 2006, 2008 is when they started performing it live, things like that.
Above the clouds, down to the dirt, lifting off with so much work so
So you actually did shows with this group? I didn't realize that.
I did.
be what it is, what it mean to me. Stand
But never S'ar Lavoe. They would do some of these songs, but on this Hopeless record, I'm not on at all. I don't think I'm even on the second one, to be honest. I think I just produced the music for the second one. I have to go back and listen.
still, get live, hold tight.
So I was the hype man. I was on the stage, I know y'all like that.
In them skies, we stay fly. In the blink of an eye, why ask why?
Yeah, man, we did a tour from Kansas City to Milwaukee and back. Did shows all the way there and back every night, different cities. So it was fun. It was real fun. And that was
You can pick. But
I was just gonna say that was the second tour I think I did with Approach.
nice. I was just gonna say, listeners, you can pick this up at daturarecords.bandcamp.com. I will put a link in the show notes.
Lost in space with a noise from the world face. I got a call from a brother from the
Hey, which track is this?
This is right here, this moment. This one is should be out now. I just got an email today. It was sent for distribution, so I'll check Spotify or Apple Music later and do all my social media things that I still don't do right.
Well, and we have an additional version of it coming, right?
What's that? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I think that's the plan. Just because I spent a time like working with some of the vocals and stuff, and we're collaborating for the first time inside of like Logic 10 together, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm experimenting with. I pulled up your Bandcamp page for this track on the video capture.
Yeah.
And we've also got friend of the pod Maria Cuevas on this track.
Oh yeah. Listen to that. I feel like I'm watching Ariel. You know what I mean?
You two make a really nice combination, Royce. Your voices.
Really?
How do you like the way your vocals sound, by the way?
And they sound like me. Is that what you mean? Like the Sonic character of them?
Well, yeah, just sonically, just how they're mixed and all that.
Yeah, nothing jumped out at me, man. It felt good. Like everything felt supernatural to me. It felt like hip hop, but it felt like hip hop, but it also fits in this context. You know what I'm saying? So I dig it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Did you have questions? Do you have something specific you were listening to? That...
No, I just okay. Ideally you want to mix your own vocals. Like probably all vocalists want to mix their own vocals, right?
No.
So having somebody else do it for you, you're picky. You know what I mean? And like I would be with my parts if I my own music. If somebody else was mixing it,
No, man. I personally like the freedom of hearing other people's choices with my vocals. I feel like if I deliver you a good performance, you know what I'm saying, and you put your touch on it, it takes it to another level, and there's a whole thing that I wouldn't do, you know what I mean, because I'm worried about a specific line or the way I hit something or whatever.
Right.
Big thing that I like to do personally is like the edits, like making sure I get the best takes of whatever if I have to. It's different with those kinds of songs because I usually just rap them all the way through, right?
Right.
So at that point, I'm just looking to fix anything that's just doesn't work, So that's why I have the multiple takes and all that kind of thing. But no, man, it sounds good to me. And
yeah.
The way you created space between my vocals and her vocals so that she can shine when she needs to and all that kind of stuff, I love it. Like if in the future we work with Maria, that's the process.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit my stuff and just send it to you. You know what I mean? I trust you.
I like. I think some of the space in that track sounded good, but oh, did you guys get that word skip?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah. Oh. The only thing it's smashed. That's stuff I have to work on.
You said smash?
Yeah, just.
Oh, the dynamics of the track?
Yeah. I noticed that just compared to the S'ar Lavoe, their stuff, like, I didn't turn it down too much, but it's like, if you notice that, I feel like that's telling you something. But
I think it's just telling you we have different mixing styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't do what you do. I just can't. I can learn from you and bring it in.
I don't know what I'm doing. So, that's probably why.
When we first met, man, I told you when we were doing Out of the Box, I was like, bro, this stuff sounds good. Yes, I do think there's things that I can do that adds to the elements of it or whatever, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like when you hear Isaac Hayes or somebody, it's Isaac Hayes, right? Even though there's like 100 musicians playing that music, it feels like Isaac Hayes, That's, our instruments are just different now, period, like somebody's, just as badass on a beat machine as somebody is with a saxophone, and we make all our music inside of machines now. But that allows us the ability to be able to make this music.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's because we're human. We're all different.
Yeah.
So no, I did not hear that. It did not feel over compressed to me at all. That was never like I did listen to it in the studio. That never popped in my head. Like, oh my God, he used too much compression. I never thought that.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man. I'll take a couple of these breaths on that one. That last track was Howie and I. That's the track that hit. Yeah, that's been listened to. Man, Spotify. I got we got the 1,000 plus. We get the count, the track count on Spotify on that. But that was a drum group, right?
Man, I don't remember. Probably. If I did the drums, then yes.
Yes, yeah. So that was the drum group. That was a piece that was missing, and I think that's probably why it's been listened to so many times, because I love that beat.
It felt spacious too. It felt like it had some space.
So the previous track and this track are from Extra Junk, the B-sides to the collaborative album that Nate and I made, Orbital Debris. I do want to go back and ask you, Nate, on right here this moment, it feels like the chord progression is like an odd number of, it's like a 20 bar progression instead of 16, or do you remember like what's going on there, or?
Yeah, it was mostly like it was like a freeform thing. Like it was the bass that I recorded with that, just that. I mean, it was meant to be pumping, but I think it was like an LFO thing on the grandmother. But I was just playing along with some beat, probably that beat. I was just playing along. I think just more or less. I mean, I think I had the chord progression, but I think I was just kind of, or the notes that I wanted to play, but I was just kind of going along with the feel of the rhythm track. So
it gives the song a really cool feel. I love that it's not 16 bars or 4 bars or whatever.
Yeah, man. Thanks for noticing that. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah. Thanks for noticing that.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the. I think whenever you're creating something, there's one thing, or at least one thing that you're like has inspired it, right? And so, and that may or may not be apparent to to the person who's listening to it. So when somebody touches on that thing, that's a little.
Well, and I wrote.
Got you.
I wrote that song in 2015, and then when I heard that track, that's what I heard to it. You know what I mean? Immediately, like that's what I heard to it. So I think that was just like earlier last year, like February or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, this is perfect for this track. 5 years later.
I love this, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Royce, but I love what you're doing here, Howie. Like.
Yeah, so this is kind of a fun one. Again, this is off Extra Junk.
And this is the second most listened to track.
Really? That makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Because the gear involved in this one is so simple. The drums, the main synth line, it's all monotribe. I've modded my monotribe pretty extensively. To fatten up the drum sound, mostly on the drums, to fatten up the drum sounds, and a couple other mods. And there's also a lot of one of the mods I did is individual outs for the drums. So I was able to separate the drums as I recorded them and do a lot of processing. But it's not, if I remember right, it's not layered or anything. It's the Monotribe's drum sounds. Mm-hmm. Monotribe's synth voice, which is both the bass line and kind of the improvised part. Then there's one overdub of MS-20 with delay and stuff. That's it. It's two synthesizers, two passes, and this is a good example of our process for that record, because this is one of those things where I recorded this whole Monotribe jam, the drums and the main synth part, and sent it to you as like my kickoff. And then you did all on the studio, like the main version, you did all the other stuff that goes into the song. I always loved that like bare bones version of it, and wanted to release it, and it needed just a tiny bit of frosting to kind of make it finished on its own. So after we did the main album, I went back and added that one MS-20 overdub just to flesh it out.
Yeah, it sounds really good. I also liked what you did with Hideaway Forever, or Hideout Forever.
I don't think we're going to hear that tonight, but people can find it.
We can. We can hear it if we're. We can hear it next week.
Okay, next week then.
Yeah.
So I've got a track that I've been working on, and every time I play the bass on it, I'm like really digging it, and then I realize it's somebody else's bass. You know what I mean? Like I'm playing a bass from a song that I've listened to for 100 times. You know what I mean? So now I can't hear anything but that bass. So I'd love to send it to anybody who would be willing to put a bass on there, Nate. If you're in the space or Howie or anybody like that.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I'll do that. Because it's, I was trying to get it to a place where I had it pretty filled out, and then I could send it to somebody to kind of collaborate or whatever. But I can't get past what I hear in this bass, and I don't even want to mention it to you so that you don't hear it.
Right. It's actually sampled, or you recreated something that's just really close?
I recreated it. I started. It must just be in the same key and have the same chord progression. You know what I mean? So as I started playing around with it and making it kind of do its thing, I was like, man, this is really dope. Like, I can't believe you just came up with that, And then I was like, wait a minute, that sounds exactly like. So, and then I tried to do something different, but every time I get into a groove, I wind up falling right back into that same bass line. So, we got
Royce.
It says stop.
Yeah, so that was the end of the music selection for this week.
Yeah. We just, listeners, we're going to let you go. We'll keep recording. We'll be back with part 2 next week. So it's been the Long Play Listening Party, and we'll see you real soon. Later.